Colors streaked past Corey's eyes, forming a nauseating kaleidoscope tunnel as she frantically ran through the streets of New Ledia. She occasionally looked behind her to see if the pursuer was still in pursuit, but the process of turning back and forth simply nauseated her more. And with a 2, Corey's colorful world turned into black as she, like her sister a few episodes ago, face planted into the ground. But Corey was not one to stop when she had started, and she quickly scrambled towards the ground, using her hands to drag her face and the rest of her body forward. Eventually, these hands found a railing, which Corey grabbed onto, pulling herself up and looking back. When she turned back, her face was still positioned towards the ground, so she couldn't see the figure itself, but she could hear it, slowly and methodically progressing forward, surrounded with a sharp wind that howled with thousands of voices. But then, Corey looked down and saw what she had tripped on. A small, perfect cube of ice, very similar to the kind that she saw when she visited her grandfather's. Still eyeing the ice, Corey grabbed the bars behind her, trying to pull herself up, but whenever she tried to stand, her knees were too shaky, collapsing her back down to the ground. The figure, however, had not missed a beat, getting closer and closer, its shadow overcoming the ice block in front of Corey. So, if she couldn't run and she couldn't fight, she would have to be tricky. Corey took her shaking leg and kicked it forward, and with a 15, she knocked the ice perfectly in front of the path of this armored menace. There was not a crack, nor a slip, nor a clang. The figure stepped on top of the ice, which disappeared under its heel as if it was never there at all. Corey looked up at this figure, which raised a warhammer high above its head, and thought what she thought were going to be her last thoughts. I really should have gone to that game. And with that, Corey was ready. Well, not ready, but she knew that soon everything, once again, was going to turn into all... "Stay back, you foul creature!" A voice rang out from the distance, triumphant and also a bit strange. "I am the Mayor Vespari, and you shall not cause trouble in my people's town!" Corey watched as small flakes of metal around her, things that had scraped off of the roller coaster above, dropped candy wrappers and the like, rose into the air, triumphantly shining the higher they got. What at first was unorganized spots quickly became a full cloud, a shining tornado in its own right, which twirled around the massive figure in front of her. The figure doubled back, for the first time reacting to anything around it. It swaying at the storm around him, but every time the warhammer was blocked by the colorful metal tornado. And as soon as this harrowing experience had begun, it had stopped. And all Corey saw in front of her was a tall, lanky man in a magician's outfit, wearing a bow tie and a pin with his face on it. "And don't you come back!" Mayor Vespari yelled at the defeated creature, which had now fully disappeared as the mayor recalled the colorful tornado to a pouch on his side. It was then that he noticed, "Ah! Young Coriander! Have gotten yourself into trouble again?" The mayor bent down like someone talking to a small child, and even when bent down, he still was taller than the average person. He reached out his hand to Corey, who, still shaking, brushed it away. "I'm fine, Vespari. I had it all under control." All under control, you say? The mayor's eyebrow and mustache both raised in suspicion. Corey didn't meet his eye. It was a long con. Now, young Coriander, it's not a shame to admit weakness or ask for help. In fact, have I ever told you about the time that I opened up to your sad father and, Well, it absolutely changed my life. Yes, Mayor. Corey's shaking stopped as she mentally started recounting this story that she had already heard dozens, nay hundreds of times. I have heard the story many, many times, and you shall hear it again! With a strength unbecoming his gangliness, the mayor wrapped an arm around Corey, picking her multiple feet off the ground as he stood up straight and started walking, arm in arm, off down the streets of New Ledia.
Corey may be physically safe, but it sounds like she might have some mental troubles coming ahead. That being said, this walk with Mayor Vespari won't all be old stories. Both the mayor and Corey will have an opportunity to ask the other something, either a question or a favor. What do they ask each other?